What is your relationship to speaking now?
I enjoy it so much, but I also feel like I have my imposter syndrome every now and then, and I don't use this often and lightly. But I was like, oh, does anyone like? Do they really want to hear again from me, or do people
Mm,
really want to hear from another yoga teacher? Do they want to hear from another executive that turned into fractional CMO? Everyone is doing it. I have this weird feeling sometimes of like my story is not that unique,
mm, hmm.
but every story is unique. I
Yeah,
know the impact of when I'm in the presence of someone that tells their experience in a very, very tangible manner, how it
yeah,
moves me, how it
hmm,
changes me. And then
yeah,
I'll be like, why am robbing other folks from the opportunity to hear something from me?
yeah, yeah. I hear the imposter monsters, which is the soul suckers are the inner critics that are trying to protect us, but often do so by turning their judgments against us. So don't do this thing because you're an imposter. You're too much of this or too little of that. And it sounds like you have an awareness of them and you're able to move through them.
I thank them and I say, this is not about you.
Yeah.
I and it's so interesting. Just the other day, I had to give a 3 hour workshop, and it was an amazing workshop. But just before I step on stage, there was like a moment where I was like, "Oh, would it start again?" I wait for it. I invited to say like, "Oh, let's see what this other Kremenator has to say about it." And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "No, not today. I really don't think today you should be telling me that maybe your slides can be better, or maybe this, or maybe that." Um, and you just say, "Not today," or like, "Not now. We can spend energy after." But people really enjoyed with the content, and that's all I could hope for.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so unnecessary to even you catch that before it even happens, and it's really beautiful because
Mm-hmm.
you're like, I can almost imagine when this will kick in, and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, interesting. I'm having this type of thought popping up, and
Yeah.
it's no, not now. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
And awareness of like, what is your creative process? And there's a moment where that happens that's actually part of your creative process.
And it's interesting because and also as a speaker, you need to find your own. For the longest time, I was trying to memorize my script, making sure that I come across like the American. I don't know. I mean, the accent I have is the accent I have. The way I pronounce or mispronounce things is the way I mispronounce things. The dyslexic part of me that is absolutely present uh, is there. But I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed that people actually appreciate that more.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of shortens the distance between the audience that I have. And I'm not saying go there and make gazillion mistakes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying go there, and if you make a mistake, so what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where even the preparing is
Mm,
happening like the art form instead of dry and looking for perfection, you do prepare and it's preparing. Art forms have life in them. So it's preparing with the life and then also letting there be um, alive. Yeah, if you make a mistake, so what? That's like newsflash for people who don't realize it. The people who still go to see live theater
ah,
love it
yes,
when they see the day that like something went wrong in the fight and everybody was okay, but so and so got their tooth knocked out live on stage. Or someone didn't enter on time and somebody else had to cover and they did this really cool improv. And I believe we love that from speakers too, that it's not meant to be recited by rote. Like in the United States, when I was a kid, we used to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and we didn't even know what we were saying. It was very like, you know, AI could have done it for us.
Yeah.
They want to see the human. They want to see and feel the way it's being done in a way it's never been done before, which sometimes is going to include a mistake here or there.
And it invites them, in my experience, it invites them to know that this is happening through me for the
Mm-hmm.
benefit of all of us here. But it's
Yeah.
not gonna, even if I give the same speech over and over again, like in a season you maybe get 10 times
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to rehash the same content, but
Mm-hmm.
it's never the same.
Yeah.
It gives them, I noticed that someone was on 3 of my same speeches. And I even
Mm-hmm.
asked that person, like, you do realize I don't have new content. I had to ask them before that. I was like, it's so nice to see you and it was amazing, but you do realize that you see the same slides
Mm-hmm.
from 2 weeks ago that you've been witnessing
Yeah.
me on stage. And they were like, yeah, but you always pick up something else, he said. Is the
Mm-hmm.
same structure. I was hired to do the same talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to the person, like, you do realize it's the same talk, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they were like, but it's not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not because of them and because of you. You know, you
totally.
can, yeah. I remember being in a coaching class and going back and assisting it. And I swore they had changed the content. And I opened up my, you know, paper notebook and I was like, no, it's literally the exact same words that are written on the board are written down in my notes.
Yeah.
Something about where I am in being here and they're delivering it a little bit differently
Hmm.
is striking me as if I've never heard it before. So it's hitting me on a different level. And it's that live experience of the speaker and the witnesses creating something that is different every single time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tell us about, uh, if not, if you don't have one favorite, like one of your personal favorite speaking experiences.
My personal favorite. Oh yeah. I think it's the first time I actually was on a panel because we were building on top of each other, on top of each, like we've known each other forever.
Mm,
And sometimes the thing with panels is it's very difficult in most cases to make it really um, valuable.
mm-hmm,
I feel like in some of the conferences that at least I've been to, there is this like, oh wow, we don't have a space for you as a main keynote speaker, but we have a panel. Would you rather do that? And
mm-hmm,
sometimes you'll be like, okay. But that one time we were building on each other so much more truthful content
mm-hmm,
that it was unscripted, unfiltered,
mm-hmm,
pure wisdom from where we were going, a lot of vulnerability that you can't you can't prescript, you can't
mm-hmm,
imagine. And right now I'll share something that I've never told anyone. And I had that aha moment in that panel, and I was like, wow, this is why a different point of view is required. This
mm,
is why when you think you have nothing to say, you maybe should be the person that is there to say these things,
mm-hmm,
because it blocks a lot of communication with the audience. I've never received so many comments and questions, and I got out of it also two mentees that are very dear to my heart. And it wouldn't have happened if I was not just bluntly honest about something.
yeah. Can I ask you what the vulnerable thing was that you shared?
We were speaking about the difficulty of leading teams, and the conversation continued with one long story longer, it was, is it more difficult, quote unquote, to be leading Gen Z or millennials?
Hmm.
And I was arguing the fact that for me, it's absolutely crucial to have Gen Zs in my team. I'm in the art of marketing. Like, I need to know what's going on in the world, in their world.
Hmm.
And there is nobody else that will keep me so, you know, on point to say, like, you don't get it, Kremena. We don't think like that. We don't do this. And it requires such a humility as a leader from your side,
Hmm.
that we were going back and forwards on those topics because there were different opinions. And I
Hmm.
was like, you, I literally said, you guys have it all wrong. Because in my industry, having this type of knowledge from the closer to the audiences we are attracting is invaluable.
Yeah.
I cannot outsource that. I cannot. Yeah, it was, we
Yeah.
had such a beautiful discussion, and I got, yeah, it was
Yeah.
very vulnerable to say that you need to be humbled and you need to be told on a daily basis how much you don't know.
Yeah.
It's very confronting as a leader in generation where we maybe were told you have to pretend you know it all, and to
Yes.
actually go back to them and say, I have zero understanding of how this TikTok works.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. My one of my metaphors for humanity is that it's like humanity is one big orchestra, and some of the instruments are not playing or not playing full out, or like the string section somewhere we're told that they needed to try to pretend they were drums. And what humanity actually needs is every voice in the conversation being themselves and playing full out in order to reach harmony. And I hear that in both how that panel evolved, the authenticity and everybody and you chiming in. And it does feel like for humanity, it's time for us to hear from some of the voices that we haven't been hearing from, because drums might just drum louder, and drums are great. But if you only had drums, you have like a 17-year-old kid who's got a drum set playing in their garage. That's not going to solve humanity's problems. And I also hear the vulnerable leadership truth that you shared was, well, you can be the drum
Mm,
and you can't be a violin if violin is Gen Z. And actual teamwork, collaboration, harmony comes from everybody
mm,
bringing their unique presence, their unique gifts, their unique vantage point to the experience. And it makes humanity better, and it makes teams run better. And leaders who do that are the leaders of the of, I wanted to say of the future. They're actually the leaders we need now. not
oh,
not just now and going forward.
I'm deeply fascinated by who we are pointing, or who we are going to see as leaders nowadays, and what type of we're always excavating so much of our own masks. We spoke earlier about it, and it's like, it's such a high time. And in your intro about my body of work, it all brings back this consciousness to the to the front and center.
Yeah.
Is like, I often speak about, but what is a conscious leader? And it's like, is exactly this questioning yourself so much more, and it's tiring for some of us, and it maybe is requiring much more effort, but we
Hmm.
cannot afford to do it the old way. We
Yeah.
cannot afford to speak of my way or the highway, or so many other things that, me also as secondary, like English is my second language, I draw a lot of inspiration from my own language when I lead or when I speak, and I would squeeze in there a saying that no one understands, and
Hmm.
I'll use that as a way to are we all in seeing the things the way we see them? And if not, it's totally okay,
Yeah.
because there is space for all of our options and opinions to be described and to be, yeah, I just think that we we're in such a good situation to be demanding more from our leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And it also requires us to be able to know that we can lead, if nothing else, ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to hate every every leadership course that there was available I would go to, because I'm just fascinated by it. And it starts with you, it starts with you. Sure, it does, but the environment around us has to also maintain
Yeah.
that everyone to be really curious about themselves and how they want to be remembered as a leader.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if
I'm
there are enough,
fascinated.
yeah, enough people doing that, hopefully there will be a tipping point where that becomes the norm.
Hmm.
Where can our listeners find you if they are leaning in and want to know more?
The best place will be my LinkedIn. I'm trying to maintain it in a sense that I respond within maximum a week. I'm on LinkedIn. I have a website that I don't maintain that well, KremenaYordanova.com. And I think on Instagram, I'm still with the Your Yoga. So YOR yoga dot, no, just the Instagram.
Yeah.
LinkedIn will be the place to just ask me anything else.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And now it's time to slide into the Pivo pivot.
Woohoo.
What is your favorite word?
Collected.
What is your least favorite word?
Empowered.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
That's a oof. I'm blanking on this one.
Okay.
Just fire. I see fire now. I don't know. Maybe because you mentioned it. Fire.
Okay. What turns you off?
Pushy.
Hmm.
Like, mm, yeah.
What's your favorite cuss word?
What is that? Sorry, I don't.
Like a swear word.
Um. mm, I'm blanking.
Doesn't need to be in English, actually. If you have a favorite cuss word,
Oh.
swear word in another language, bring it.
Oh. Oh wow! I'm not using many of them. That's not okay. Because they say I'm blanking out completely.
Okay. Life work assignment. You get to say, yes, I will, no, I won't, or here's my counter offer. Will you do some swearing this week to discover what your favorite swear word is?
Fuck yeah.
Yay! Okay.
You really made it difficult there. Wow. I was like, wait a minute. When was the last time I swear? I was like,
It can be liberating. What sound or noise do you love?
morning birds,
Mm.
but only in the morning.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, fire alarms.
Mm. What profession, other than the ones you've already done in your life, would be fun to try?
Actor.
What profession would you not like to do?
Waitress again.
What do you hope people say about you on your 100th birthday?
She lived well.
Mm. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming here today. It was such a wonderful, wonderful experience spending time with you and hearing about your journey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Laurie, for having me. This was
Yeah.
amazing.
And listeners, if you loved today's episode, please do all the things: like it, rate it, leave a review, share it with a friend who might appreciate it too. And I will see you back here soon.